Have you ever thought to yourself that these movies had way too many dinosaurs and not enough people? Jurassic World Rebirth absolutely delivers. We haven't talked about dinosaurs since 65 with Adam Driver. Well, we're finally back 2 years later talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. You ever sit through a movie and you can feel your excitement slowly turning into disappointment? Yeah, color me surprised because I love dinosaurs. How can you go wrong? Well, we're going to talk about it. I rewatched the entire film franchise, Jurassic Park to Jurassic World Dominion, and today we're going to get into watch order and do you need to really watch all 6 films first? General thoughts on the franchise, favorite characters, and most importantly, I'm going to tell you my favorite dinosaurs. It's going to be a lot, so let's get into it. Jurassic World Rebirth is the 7th installment in the Jurassic Park franchise directed by Gareth Edwards. This time we follow Zora Bennett, who leads a team of skilled operatives to the most dangerous place on Earth, an island research facility for the original Jurassic Park. Their mission is to secure genetic material from dinosaurs whose DNA can provide life-saving benefits to mankind. As the top-secret expedition becomes more and more risky, they soon make a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. These films have always explored the dangers of playing God and unchecked scientific ambition, corporate greed, the illusion of control, and the relationship between humans and dinosaurs. And as much as I would like to get into how the relationship between humans and dinosaurs has changed over the course of 7 films, we have to talk about something that is so relevant today, and that's corporate greed and exploitation. In Rebirth, the Parker Genix pharmaceutical company plans to extract DNA from living dinosaurs to develop a cure for heart disease. Sounds fantastic, right? Love that. But of course, they're not doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. Like any big corporation, the bottom line is astronomical profits, even if that means their life-saving treatment will only be accessible to the wealthy, which is literally the worst and something that is the reality for so many people. This movie really gets this idea across so well. Sure, it might not be the best execution with the best dialogue, but Rebirth really continues to highlight the idea of commercializing scientific discovery and the morality that arises when profit overshadows ethical consideration. So since we're talking about what the movie did a good job of, let's keep the ball rolling because there are some good highlights worth mentioning. We already touched on one of the themes that Rebirth did a good job of communicating, even if it was spelled out a little too plainly, so let's move on to the vibes. I really enjoyed the opening. Now there is plenty to pick apart here, but I won't. The beginning and toward the end, specifically the scenes featuring the Distortus Rex or D-Rex, were some of my favorite moments in the entire film. I also really love the gas station sequence with the Mutadons. The genuine suspense in these moments nailed a tone I would have loved for this movie to just live in. The suspense was palpable, the acting was fantastic, and the CGI and lighting was amazing. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for a laugh. I am a funny gal, but the humor crossed a line into silly, had me rolling my eyes territory, so when we got these moments that dropped the humor and elevated the tension, I was locked in. Speaking of being invested, let's talk about some of the characters and the acting. There's a lot of good all around, but I am going to start nitpicking, so I'm just going to focus on Mahershala Ali as Duncan Kincaid. I was fully invested in his character. We got so much backstory and motivation from just a few lines of dialogue. Mahershala brought a lot of emotional weight to the role. I immediately clicked with the character in a way that I really wasn't expecting, and that's something I can say for Scarlett Johansson as Zora Bennett as well. From the trailers, I fully expected that these were just your run-of-the-mill military/mercenary type characters that weren't going to have much to them beyond that. So I was really surprised when the characters were given more depth. Okay, so it's been a minute since we've been on an isolated island like this, and I have to say that I love that Rebirth decided to return to this setting. Even if the island delivers a variety of environments, the location still feels contained. Now, I am going to get into the flip side of some of these points in the next section, but we can't finish this up without talking about the dinosaur sequences throughout the movie. They are so fun and exciting. The team's mission to collect DNA gets them up close and personal with 3 specific species, but the sequences with the Mosasaurus and the Quetzalcoatlus really stood out to me the most. Add that to the D-Rex and Mutadon sequences I mentioned a minute ago, and yeah, I had a good time. Unfortunately, for every awesome dinosaur moment, There's a moment where I leaned over to comment to my honey, or I was sitting there thinking, wait, what? We're gonna get into some criticisms about the movie and I'll share my thoughts along the way. Many critiques pointed out that the story feels too familiar, leading to predictability and feeling like this movie lacks new ideas. If you've listened to me talk about movies before, then you know that I don't mind a predictable plot. I don't even mind if it's unoriginal, but you gotta do something different, something exciting, something that stands out. However, I can't agree with these comments because while I don't have a problem with the movie being predictable or unoriginal, any moment that brought freshness or was interesting just didn't last long enough or didn't happen enough to make a real impact. Now let's talk about the human characters because I rewatched all the Jurassic movies and I actually like the human characters. Well, most of them anyway. So when I came out of the movie not liking the family, and to be honest, most of the characters were just I was really surprised. People commented that the family felt unnecessary. They add little to the main narrative and they can pull focus. So here's the thing. I actually don't mind them adding a family and a whole side plot. I'm cool with that. But you have to get me invested. I have to care about these people. I didn't like any of them. Xavier was so annoying for way too long that by the time that there was any sort of development happening with the character, it was too late. That said, I can see people liking this family. I even liked a few moments between Ruben and his youngest daughter, Isabella, but overall, the entire family was uninteresting and I just wanted more dinosaurs. However, I at least can understand how the family is important to Duncan's arc, but that is a whole other can of worms that had me throwing my hands up in the theater because this movie just didn't fully commit in moments that it should have. And I want to know who the test audience was that robbed me of a real visceral moment. I just want to talk. Getting back on track, this leads to Rebirth lacking emotional weight. There's no real threat. I mean, there are dinosaurs everywhere, but at no point was I worried about the core characters. Side characters, whatever, we can see their deaths coming from a mile away. But everyone else, either indestructible, there was honestly no real threat, or they illogically survived. And this did not happen in a funny haha way. I really was pulled out of the movie for a second. Now let's talk about a couple more characters before we move on. Up front, I want to say that I fully expected to love Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey as Zora and Dr. Loomis, respectively. On paper, these are character types that I like, and the actors played their roles convincingly. But the dialogue just felt so unnatural, so the characters come across awkward. Something felt off, like they were just dropped into a movie that didn't know how to use them. This could just be a me thing because people were really focused on the characters being one-dimensional and bland. I thought there was some flavor. I liked the characters, it just, there was something missing. Now, of course, we are not wrapping this episode up without talking about this franchise. I watched 6 movies leading up to the release of Jurassic World Rebirth, and you already know. I have some thoughts. We're going to get into watch order, general thoughts on the franchise, how I rank all 7 movies, and then we'll wrap up with my favorite characters and, of course, my favorite dinosaurs. For the sake of time, we are going to breeze through this entire section with little to no explanation, otherwise we will be here all day. First off, do you need to watch all 6 films before seeing Rebirth? I would argue that you don't need to actually watch any of the previous films to watch this one. Rebirth gives you enough information and is honestly so far removed in terms of story and characters that you can get by with just knowing the gist of what happens in the Jurassic World and Jurassic Park films. But if you're down to watch it all, then release order is how you're going to want to watch these movies. Jurassic Park, The Lost World Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic World Rebirth. General thoughts on the franchise? I love it so much. These movies have a special place in my heart, especially Jurassic Park 3. Overall, this is such a fun franchise that is so much more. Plus, like anybody with good taste, I like dinosaurs. There's a real pull and sense of wonder when it comes to these animals, and the practical effects, you guys already know, I love practical effects so much, and these movies are incredibly impressive when it comes to giving us real dinosaurs, which is something I wish Rebirth did more of. Anyway, beyond that, you have a cast of iconic characters that just elevate a story that is surrounded by timeless conversations of science, the extinction, corporate greed, and so much more. We get all of that, plus dinosaurs. How can you not love these movies? I love them all, even if they're not all good or they took a weird turn. So let's get into how I would rank every film in the franchise. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic Park The Lost World, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, or Jurassic World Rebirth. Honestly, it depends on my mood. I could elaborate, but we gotta move on because we've been chatting for a minute and you guys know I have nobody to talk to about movies. So if you've made it this far in the episode, thank you so much. I truly appreciate every single one of you. I'm gonna wrap this section up with my top 5 favorite characters, and last but certainly not least, my favorite dinosaurs, which, let's be real, that is the most important part of this entire episode. For my favorite characters, Dr. Alan Grant, Dr. Ellie Sattler, Dr. Ian Malcolm, Claire Deering, and Duncan Kincaid. Honorable mentions include Dr. Henry Wu and Zia. To the surprise of absolutely no one, my favorite dinosaur is the Velociraptor, but I promised you guys a list and I tried to keep it at 5, but come on. It's dinosaurs, I wasn't going to keep it at 5. Mosasaurus, T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Therizinosaurus, Indominus Rex, and finally, the D-Rex definitely makes the list, despite the offensive lack of screen time. I'm hoping they will make an impression in future installments, but I love the design and a lot of moments in the film. This movie did not show enough dinosaurs, period, and I felt robbed. Okay, I know that was a lot, but we can't just get a new Jurassic movie and not revisit the previous installments. I told you how I would rank the films, shared my favorite characters, and of course I had to mention the dinosaurs that I love, but we've got to shift our focus back to Rebirth. Let's wrap this up and talk about who's going to vibe with this movie, who's going to walk out of the theater wondering where all the dinosaurs are, and whether this movie is worth 2 hours and 13 minutes of your time. I have seen positive reviews for this movie, and I've seen conversations online from people who do like this movie. If you're looking for a fun summer movie with dinosaurs with a little bit of that old school Jurassic suspense, this is it. But if you're looking for more, and honestly, I was only asking for a little more, I just wanted this movie to fully commit, well then you might be disappointed. I'm rambling a little bit, but I did see people saying that the fan favorite dinosaurs were being sidelined in favor of the new mutated ones. I mean, you guys know that I love my girl Blue, the queen of my heart, the Mosasaur, and of course the people's princess, Rexy. So I get it, but I was really surprised by those comments. Personally, I'm open to new and different dinosaurs and any and all mutated ones. This is a new island where InGen was up to no good, so of course we're going to be seeing new creatures that the lab created. And I really like the D-Rex and the Mutadons. Their designs are interesting, and when the movie focused on the suspense and let these dinosaurs shine, these were my favorite moments in the entire film. Speaking of some of my favorite moments that didn't last long enough, this movie leans into that Jurassic Park style tension and suspense. There are scenes or just little glimmers within a scene that really feel like they're echoing previous installments in such a good way. There are moments of tight, suspenseful action, and let me tell you, we love a flare in this franchise. We love the lighting and framing where we can see the dinosaur lit by a flare, throw in the oblivious character, and you've got that tension and suspense every time. Side note, as much as I like me an oblivious character, so many characters in this movie were just painfully unaware throughout in ways that frustrated me. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is that if you grew up with these movies or just love them and you want to see some excellent shots, incredible CGI, and those suspenseful moments, then you'll probably have fun with this movie. Now, Rebirth is PG-13 and we have seen plenty of deaths in this franchise, but I want to quickly point out that there is a dead dinosaur in this movie and there were guts just all out. So if you have younger children with you, that might be something to keep in mind. But overall, this movie is in line with the franchise and appeals to kids, families, and older fans. Speaking of us older fans, if you guys are crossing your fingers for this movie to get back to those highs of the franchise with deep emotional stakes, memorable characters, better dialogue, commitment, payoff, and I don't know, more dinosaurs, I'm gonna start ranting. Just manage your expectations, that's all I'm trying to say. I thought Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey gave solid performances, but the writing doesn't always support them. And the trailers promised more dinosaurs than it actually delivers. But when it does deliver the dinosaurs, I was levitating in the theater. You know I love my XD at Cinemark with the dinosaurs roaring in surround sound, bass shaking the seats and walls vibrating. Chef's kiss. I just wanted so much more of that. Not only is the sound design amazing, but the creature designs, CGI, and the lighting, it all looks incredible when the movie delivers. Dominion left a bad taste for a lot of fans, but on a rewatch, I really do enjoy the second half of the film, but I appreciate that Rebirth is trying to do something different. I just wish it fully committed. So who is this movie really for? Fans of the franchise, kids who love dinosaurs, anyone looking for a fun summer movie. If you can appreciate the dinosaurs when the movie gives them the spotlight and accept the humans even when the script drops the ball, then you'll find something to like about this movie. It's not the best in the franchise, but it has some standout moments, strong visuals, and let's be real, the dinosaurs just look cool. Alright you guys, a huge thank you to everyone who has stuck around with me to the end of the video. Last time we talked, I shared my thoughts on Ballerina. You guys know how I feel about Keanu and the John Wick franchise, so I was so excited to revisit the world through a new lens. If you haven't checked that one out yet, you can find it in the top right corner if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify, that episode is available for you as well. If you're enjoying the content on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next review. Speaking of which, I've been catching up. I was working on Final Destination Bloodlines, but clearly I had some thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth, so I had to talk about this one instead. I still have to talk about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It's been a few months, but I refuse to let it go. Then, 28 years later, they are all on their way, so be sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Spotify to catch my thoughts on all of them. And hey, if you enjoy on-the-go listening, then you should definitely check out the podcast. Plus, I drop the occasional exclusive episode you won't find on YouTube. If you're already hanging out with me on the pod, thank you so much. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can find a link in the description, or you can just search for me, A.Rocket.Review, on Spotify. You can always check out the community tab on YouTube for updates and the occasional poll when I fall behind. I am on Blue Sky at A.Rocket.Review, all one word. Last time I posted, I was rewatching the entire Jurassic Park franchise, so if you want to catch me posting sporadically about what I'm watching, that's where you'll find me. I'm still building, growing, and learning, and I'm really grateful to have you here with me. Whether you're watching on YouTube, listening to the podcast, or finding me over on Blue Sky, your support, a thumbs up, subscribe, follow, or comment truly means so much. So before you go, let me know in the comments, what did you think of Jurassic World Rebirth? Did it deliver, or did it just leave you wanting more dinosaurs? Did you like the new mutated dinosaurs like the D-Rex and the Mutadons, or were you missing our girls Blue and Rexy? What did you think about the family? Did they work for you, or were you just waiting to get back to Zora and her crew? Or maybe just back to the dinosaurs? You guys know I rank with the heart, and I'm cool if you don't agree with me, so I want to know how you would rank all 7 movies. Let me see your list. And last question, because let's be real, not enough people are asking, who is your favorite dinosaur? I'll take a top 3 or even a top 5 because I know there is more than one. I want to know what you guys think, so let's get the conversation going. And until next time, spread positivity, and please be safe, take care of yourself and take care of the people around you, take breaks from the news, stay hydrated, don't forget to eat, and a friendly reminder that it is okay to distract yourself. So happy movie watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!